Hello and welcome to Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm your host, Rebecca Benton. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC State University. Now today I have with me special guest Lydia Miles. Lydia, thank you for being with us today. Can you tell the audience a little bit about you?
Sure. My name is Lydia Miles. I am the field crops agent for Columbus County. I work with farmers of corn, cotton, soybeans, sweet potato, tobacco, wheat, all of those kinds of field crops. And we've got some production meetings coming up that we'd like to talk about with you today.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get right on into it.
Sure.
So we've got 2024, New Year in Extension, New Year and with meetings. So what have we got coming up for our farmers?
So jumping right into it, the end of January, we're going to have a regional soybean school is what it's called. This is the first year of doing these kinds of regional soybean schools as opposed to county-held grains meetings. So the Southeastern Regional Soybean School will be held in Lumberton at the Southeast North Carolina Events Center, Ag Events Center, and that'll be on January 30th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Okay.
At that meeting, we're going to have a number of special guests there to do a deep dive on different production topics, including poultry litter management, optimizing soybean maturity groups and planting date, insect pest management, and then we're also going to have an overview and a demonstration of the new soybean variety selection tool.
Okay. Now, if I'm an audience member and I'm listening to this, what counties, you said regional, so what counties will be participating or are allowed to participate?
So you can come from any county you want to. Actually, people can attend multiple soybean schools if they want, but the way we're doing these regional ones is that the topics at each soybean school are geared towards that area of the state.
Okay.
So it helps provide some hyper-local data and research, but it's all Southeast North Carolina, so it's going to be Robeson, Bladen, Columbus, Brunswick, New Hanover, that kind of area.
Okay. And if I'm interested in participating in this meeting, what do I need to do?
If you have interest in participating in any of the meetings that we discussed today, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to call the office and ask to speak to me. I'd be happy to discuss them with you. We do ask for registration for all of the meetings. The production meetings, the first three that I'm going to talk about, do have lunch at some point during them, so we just like to have numbers for that. There also will be information on our Columbus Cooperative Extension website on the calendar. All of these events are posted on the calendar, and we'll have descriptions there as well.
And do you know how would I find the calendar?
So right when if you Google Columbus County Cooperative Extension, right when you click on that first page, you'll see a little bar of upcoming dates, and right below that you can click to see the entire calendar.
And could they call the office as well to get a hold?
Oh yeah, of course.
What is the number they can reach you at?
It's 910-640-6605.
Okay, all right.
All right. Next, we have just a couple days after that regional soybean school, we will be hosting a Columbus County Field Crops Production Meeting on February 1st. You may know last year we hosted a corn and soybean meeting, but since we're doing those regional soybean meetings, we decided to kind of have just a little bit of a broader production meeting where we can dive into any of the field crops we really have questions on, issues with. It is going to focus primarily on weed science, entomology, and soil fertility. That will be from 10 to 12 p.m., and then we will have lunch after that. Again, that's on February the 1st, and that will be in Whiteville at our extension office. We have 3 specialists coming down from Raleigh that will have some really good talks, and we'd love to see as many people attend that as possible.
Now, will this be just for Columbus County farmers, or can another farmer from another county come if they were interested and didn't have the opportunity?
Yeah, you can come from any county if you are interested in those topics. Again, it'll be kind of geared towards Southeastern North Carolina, where we are, and revolve around the kind of our growing conditions, but anyone is welcome to attend.
Okay, and that one's February 1st.
February the 1st, that's correct. Then moving into late February, on February 26th, we have the Southeastern Peanut Production Meeting. As usual, that will be held in Bladen County. Dr. David Jordan is coming down from NC State just to provide updates on peanut production, outlook, weeds, insects, all of that, and there will be a lunch following that meeting as well. And that's from 1 to 3 p.m. on February 26th.
Now, will they register online for that one?
Registration can be done by calling either our office, Columbus County, or you could contact the Bladen County office. Either way, we'll take registration through those two methods.
Okay, so kind of like through the phone registration.
Through the phone, yep.
Okay.
Moving on is another meeting that we're pretty excited about. It is not until March, but it is on March 7th. It is a pond meeting. We are going to discuss pond maintenance, pond basics, stocking, weed control, algae control, things of that nature. Columbus County has a lot of small ponds and a lot of homeowner maintained ponds. And every summer we get an abundance of questions on how to take care of specific weeds, how to get rid of algae, how to maintain and take care of fish, where they can purchase fish, things like that. So we're really excited to be hosting a meeting geared towards homeowners or people who are managing community ponds to kind of give you a bit of information on how to better care for your pond and get you started before we really get into summer where we see all those issues, to hopefully help head off and prevent some of those.
It absolutely sounds like a pre-prevention. Let's go
Yes.
ahead and get this taken care of so that you don't have these problems when summer gets here.
Right, yeah. We're hoping that we'll have some good attendance. Like I said, every summer we get inundated with questions and making pond visits and stuff. So we think it'll be very beneficial to the community, and people from surrounding counties are welcome to attend that as well if they'd like to.
Now, does this meeting, does that one have a lunch afterwards as well?
This
or no?
one does not. This
Okay.
is our first one that doesn't. It's going to be from about 9 a.m. till about noon, 9 a.m. to
Okay.
noon, and we'll finish up. But we have some good presenters for this one as well.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear more about this. So what's the next one coming up?
So after that, we move into pesticide trainings. I handle all of the private applicators recertification. So that is mostly farmers who need to recertify. Every 3 years, they have to obtain 2 hours of V credit and 2 hours of X credit to be able to renew their license without having to take the test again. So I set up normally 4 or 5 meetings every single year to provide ample opportunity for those farmers to come and get their recertification credits. The first one is the week of February 6th. So February 6th is a Tuesday, and we are having a V training from 2 to 4 p.m. And the X training that week will be on Thursday, February 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. The week after that, we're doing our V training on February 13th from 2 to 4 p.m. And the X training will be on February 15th from 2 to 4 p.m. Then we take a break, move into March. We have one set of all-day classes for those people who want to just take one day and get all of it done. We have a V training on March 20th from 10 to 12. Then we take an hour break from 12 to 1. And then we move into the X training from 1 to 3. Then we take a longer break. Recertification is due by the end of September. They have to have their hours in by the end of September. So for all the people who realized at the last minute that they still need those hours, on September 17th, we're having a V training. This one's an evening training for people who might have to work or something during the day. And it's from 4 to 6 p.m. And then the X counterpart to that is on the 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. And I do want to mention that if you would rather go to a production meeting than to sit through 2 hours of X training for your pesticide license, the soybean school, our field crops production school, and the peanut meeting will all carry at least 2 hours of X credit, which will get you those hours you need, and you won't have to sit through another class, and it might be better.
Just curious, because I don't know. So how many hours does a pesticide training course, the continuation, how many would you actually need?
So you need, for private applicators, it varies. Commercial applicators all need various different hours depending on their certification. But private applicators need 2 hours of V and 2 hours of X to be able to renew. So it's 4 hours every 3 years.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And the X trainings as well. I know I've had a number of commercial applicators who are trying to catch up on hours or weren't able to come to our meeting a few months ago. If you have a commercial license and need hours, those X trainings that I am hosting do carry commercial hours as well. I will post on the calendar which hours they do or which categories they do carry hours for, or you can always call just to verify that that class will cover your category, but it covers a pretty broad range of categories.
Okay. Now, for somebody like me that doesn't have a pesticide license or know a whole lot about pesticide, what is the difference in V and X?
So V is what's considered safety training. It's your core training. The NCDA provides an update on the state of pesticides and whatnot for it, and then it's a lot of safety stuff, general updates and things like that. Your X training we have more freedom with. It just needs to be related to your category. It's what they call the extended training. So it's just 2 more hours of continuing education. I have more freedom to set it up the way I want, so I tend to set mine up so that they cover commercial categories as well, just to make sure we're able to get all those commercial applicators their hours as well. But we also are able to use X for our meetings and things, like I said, those production meetings. So that's just about the
you
difference.
mentioned that you could switch off to some of the other. Which ones can you switch off, the X or the V meetings?
The X you can switch off. So the X you can get at our regional soybean school, our field crops production, and our southeastern peanut production meeting. All of those will carry X credits. And also we've got one more related to pesticide, one more thing. For the first year in quite some time, Columbus County will be hosting a pesticide exam. So if you're thinking you need your license and you haven't been able to get it and you don't want to have to travel to Raleigh or somewhere else to get your license, we will be hosting a pesticide exam at our office in Whiteville on March 13th at 1 p.m. If you have more questions about how to get your license or if you need your license, just call the office at 910-640-6605 and I'll be able to walk you through what you need, where to order your study materials, things of that nature.
Yeah. Okay. So are those all the classes you have available right now?
Yes.
Yes, which you have quite a bit because you've got all things planned all the way through September. So
Yeah.
that is a lot of information, and
It is.
I know it was probably a lot of information for our audience.
A lot of dates and
Yes.
times, but like I said, they're all on the calendar, on the Columbus County Cooperative Extension calendar. We will be sending out mailings, if you're on our mailing list, to our field crops producers for the production meetings, and we will be sending letters out to all of our private applicators who are up for renewal this cycle with these dates. If you're not up for renewal yet, but you want to go ahead and get in on the classes, that's totally fine too. You won't receive a letter about them, but you can see them on our calendar and give us a call to sign up.
Now, Lydia, tell me, what are you most excited about teaching in this?
Oh,
or
gosh.
going to? What is your favorite part?
Well, I'm excited for our field crops production meeting, the one that we're having in our office. It's always good to host a meeting and for our farmers not to have to travel out of town for a meeting. So it's also the first time we've done it like this, where it's kind of a little bit more open than just being limited to corn and soybeans. We're focusing more on weed science, soil fertility, and entomology, just kind of across all of our crops. And I think it's going to be a good meeting, and hope we get some good attendance at it.
Now, is someone coming in to help teach with that
Oh
one?
yeah, that's
Who's coming with that one?
We'll have the specialist, the weed science specialist from NC State, our soil fertility specialist, and our entomology specialist. They're all coming down from Raleigh to teach at that meeting.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely wonderful year in field crops. So I'm excited. I know you're excited to get all these folks in. Have you got anybody registered already?
No, this is our first time announcing all of it.
So hopefully go ahead and call our office, get registered. Tell them that number one more time to call.
Sure, it's 910-640-6605.
Lydia, I just want to say thank you so much for being on this episode of Spotlight North Carolina. Audience, thank you guys for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.